You didn't break any rule. Your ticket was valid. Your documents were correct. Yet, at the airport, something quietly changed. You're over 70. You arrive early. You move carefully. You follow instructions. But suddenly, you're pulled aside. Your boarding is delayed. Assistance doesn't come. No one says denied, but you don't move forward either. Starting January 2026, airports are applying new operational rules that affect senior travelers differently, not officially announced, not clearly explained, and rarely offered without asking. Most passengers believe age brings automatic understanding. In reality, the system now works the opposite way. In this video, you'll learn the new airport rules quietly affecting travelers over 70, why seniors are being stopped or overlooked without explanation, and how to avoid silent denial by understanding how the system really decides who moves and who doesn't. Most people believe airports are designed to help older passengers automatically. That used to be mostly true. But by 2026, airport operations quietly shifted towards something very different: request-based systems. This means assistance, flexibility, and protection are no longer assumed, even after 70. They exist, but only if the system knows you need them, and the system only reacts to what is formally requested, logged, or flagged. From the airport's perspective, silence is efficient. If no assistance is requested, no resources are assigned. If no priority is activated, delays are treated as passenger responsibility. If no protection is triggered, missed connections become individual circumstances. For senior travelers, this creates a quiet contradiction. You may move slower, you may need more time, you may be more cautious. But unless you explicitly activate support, the system doesn't see age. It sees risk of delay. Airports are optimized for speed, predictability, and throughput. Anyone who hesitates, needs clarification, or requires extra handling without being pre-registered stands out. Not as someone to help, but as someone to manage. This is why many passengers over 70 feel ignored, rushed, or quietly sidelined. Not because help no longer exists, but because the system now waits for you to ask first. 1. Assistance services. Many senior travelers assume assistance appears when it's needed. After 70, that assumption quietly breaks. Wheelchairs, electric carts, terminal escorts, extended boarding time, these services still exist. But by 2026, they are almost entirely request-based, logged in advance, and tied to staffing algorithms. If assistance is not requested during booking or check-in, the system treats you as fully independent, even if you clearly move slower, even if you hesitate, even if you struggle. At the airport, staff are no longer encouraged to offer help. They are trained to respond only to active requests. What happens if you don't ask? You walk longer distances. You arrive at the gate later. You board under time pressure, or not at all. From the system's point of view, this is not a failure. It's a passenger who didn't activate support. 2. Priority. Security and screening. Logic. Security screening used to make quiet allowances for older travelers. That logic has changed. Today's security flow prioritizes speed and predictability, not age. Passengers who hesitate, ask questions, or need extra time are flagged, not as seniors, but as processing interruptions. For travelers over 70, this creates a hidden risk. If you're not pre-cleared for priority screening or assistance, you may be redirected to secondary screening, asked to remove items repeatedly, slowed down without explanation. Not because you're suspicious, but because the system wasn't told to expect you, and once delays start, they cascade. 3. Boarding order and silent reassignment. Boarding feels simple, but for seniors, it's one of the quietest danger zones. Airlines increasingly prioritize on-time departure, cabin flow efficiency, seat optimization. If you board late due to unregistered assistance needs, your seat may be reassigned, not announced, not argued, just changed. You're still on the flight, or sometimes not, and the reason is never clearly stated. To the system, this isn't denial, it's optimization. To you, it feels like being quietly pushed aside. 1. Carry-on, personal items, and medical belongings. After 70, your carry-on usually changes. Medication, medical devices, extra layers, comfort items, nothing illegal, nothing unusual. But airport enforcement doesn't evaluate intent. it evaluates time and clarity. Bags that require explanation slow the line. Items that don't scan cleanly trigger secondary checks. And passengers who pause to explain are quietly labeled as delays. At the gate, this becomes more dangerous. Older passengers are more likely to be asked to consolidate bags, forced to gate check items, charged for non-compliant carry-ons. Not because rules are different for seniors, but because enforcement is stricter when boarding time is tight. If assistance or exemptions weren't activated earlier, discretion disappears. 2. Rebooking, missed connections, and age-neutral policies. Missed connections are where many seniors lose the most, silently. Airlines publicly state that age doesn't affect rebooking. Internally, the system works differently. If your delay is logged as passenger-caused assistance not requested, no protected status activated, you are treated as flexible inventory, not a protected traveler. This is why two passengers over 70 can miss the same connection and receive completely different outcomes. One is rebooked calmly. The other is told to wait, pay, or fly later. The difference is never age. It's whether the system recognized you as needing protection before the delay occurred. 3. Soft denial. When no one says no. By 2026, denial rarely sounds like denial. No one says, "You can't fly. You're not allowed. You're too slow." Instead, things simply stop happening. Your name isn't called. Your boarding window closes. Your seat disappears from the screen. Your assistance never arrives. From the system's perspective, nothing improper occurred. From yours, the journey quietly collapses. This is the most dangerous rule change for travelers over 70. Not open refusal, but silent exclusion through process. Imagine two passengers. Both are 72 years old. Same airport, same airline, same departure time. The first passenger arrives early, says nothing, and assumes help will appear if needed. They move carefully. They hesitate at security. Their carry-on requires explanation. By the time they reach the gate, boarding has already started. No one stops them. No one explains anything. But their seat is reassigned. Assistance doesn't arrive. They're told to wait, and waiting quietly becomes missing the flight. The second passenger does something different. They request assistance in advance. They activate priority screening. Their needs are logged before they ever reach the terminal. At security, the system expects them. At boarding, their place is protected. If a delay happens, the system treats it as operational, not personal. Same age, same airport, completely different outcome. This is the real consequence of not understanding how airport systems work after 70. It's not embarrassment. It's not inconvenience. It's lost time, lost money, physical exhaustion, and unnecessary stress, all caused by silence. Not because you did something wrong, but because the system never knew to treat you differently. After 70, the most important travel skill isn't packing lighter or arriving earlier. It's knowing when and how to activate protection. Start before the airport. When booking or checking in, request assistance explicitly, not vaguely, not if available. Your request needs to be logged in the system. At the airport, speak early, not when a problem appears. At check-in or before security, use clear, policy-based language. I've requested assistance in priority processing due to mobility and timing needs. This isn't asking for special treatment. It's confirming that the system sees you correctly. At security, don't wait until you're slowing the line. Identify yourself before screening begins. Once delays start, options shrink. At the gate, verify your status before boarding starts. Ask if your assistance, boarding order, and seat are protected. If something goes wrong, timing matters more than tone. Speak while the system can still adjust. Not after boarding closes. Not after seats are reassigned. The goal is simple. Make sure the system knows what to expect from you before it decides how to treat you. Because once decisions are made, they're rarely reversed. Flying after 70 doesn't mean losing your place in the system. It means the system now waits for you to speak first. These aren't special favors. They aren't exceptions. They're protections already written into airport and airline policies, but quietly withheld unless you activate them. Once you understand how the system really works, denial stops being random, and travel becomes predictable again. If someone you care about is flying after 70, share this video with them. If you've experienced silent denial at the airport, leave a comment. And subscribe to this channel to keep understanding the rules airlines never explain until it's too late.